Hey, what's up and good morning everybody. This is David Pendleton. Thank you for clicking on the video. We're going to be covering the rookie division front 9 holes of the opening round of the game set match tournament. So as we sit right now, minus 15 on one account, minus 14 on my other account. The difference was the albatross on hole number 9. Made a small little tweak on how I missed on my first account and was able to drop it, which was really nice on this account. So far so good. Both accounts looking nice, on pace to make it to the final round. Hey, if you're new to the channel or if you haven't subscribed yet, please hit the subscribe button. If you like the content that I provide week in and week out, please take a moment there to hit the thumbs up button and like the video. All right, let's go to hole number 1. Hole number 1, we play at 10% at mid. Here we're going to just use our sniper and a navigator. Not a whole lot here, as I really couldn't get this one in the hole. But I am going with 2 back, 1 left, as you see. And then I'm trying to find a landing spot. So on this one, I've got the ball guideline going through the hole. Again, 2 back, 1 left, ball guideline going through the hole. 10% at mid is the pool. Now you'll see we just need some minor tweaks here on hole number 1, and maybe you can get this one to go in. Very, very close way to start off the tournament. Really, the only thing that I would do differently here is I would just try to offset this shot a little bit. I wouldn't really add any more elevation, because if you do that, then you're going to have to change your backspin, right? So we could add elevation to like maybe 20 or 25%, which is going to make us pull our rings more towards the screen. I think if you do that and you keep the same spin adjustment, you're going to come up short. So if you want to try to add the elevation, you're going to have to reduce the backspin by a little bit. So what I would do is I would just mimic the spin. I would offset this just outside to the left-hand side of the hole. I would have the ball guideline completely out, touching the left edge of the cup, and see if you can get that one to get more centered into the hole. I think that was going to be a little bit tricky, though, because my wind was only 2.7 miles an hour. If you get hit with like 4.5, you might get a little bit more push too. Hole number 1 is a little bit more difficult to dial in, just because of the way the ball rolls on that green. But that's okay. There's plenty of drops out here, starting with hole number 2. Hole number 2, again, remember, if you're in the tougher tier categories, you got to pick up the eagle on this hole in order to compete. Here we're going with full top. We're going to go with full left with the Titan. You can see my yellow ring is right there on the rough line. I make sure that when I pull, I keep my target at max. And here, take a note of the overpower. I've got a little bit of my ball into the bottom part of the adjustment zone, so I'm not going with a ton of overpower. This for me right here, this is good enough. That's all we need to do. We don't want to go nuts with the OP, because if we do, we can encounter that roll where we get onto the green and we go flying into the backhand of the rough. For me on this hole, I prefer just to clip the rough and roll out, and then we call it a day, and we move on to our second shot, which is just a very simple chip in, as you can see here. Pretty much just full top spin, aim at the hole, and that's in the hole. That's really easy. That's nothing to see there. Okay. Hole number 3, this one's going to be a little bit tougher. We are going to be getting the headwind here. So we are using a Kingmaker just to reduce the wind. Now, you don't have to use a Kingmaker if you're somebody who doesn't want to. I mean, I would play this one with a Katana if you're going to use a different ball. You might need to go into a little bit of overpower, or you just may want to play with your extra mile. The extra mile may be the better club choice with headwind, but it's okay. I went with the quarterback. We still get a nice roll here. We still get plenty of room on the drive on our fairway, so that we don't come anywhere close to the rough. Leaves us a shot number 2. Unfortunately, this time, shot number 2, this is going to be played at maximum distance here. So the thing with this one is, you don't want to go crazy with the top spin, because you can roll too far past the hole. I play at minus 20%. It's the same way I played it in the in the qualifying round. And then really, it's going to come down to just using a little bit of overpower. As you can see here, I didn't use any OP. I just went with a normal shot. And then I end up clipping the rough there and then rolling out. Again, no harm, no foul. Very easy chip in for your eagle. A little bit more overpower would have been a little bit better, but that's okay. That'll take us on to hole number 4. Hole number 4, we did pick up the eagle in the qualifying round. But on this one, a little bit different. We're going to be going with the Titan. We don't want to reduce that wind there, but we do like the Power 3 ball. Here we pull at 10%, and we want to make sure that we are at maximum distance of our club, so we do that slight pushback. I go with full OP, full curl to the left. Now I do hit perfect, which is always nice when you're doing a shot like that. So you can see that with that perfect shot, we get a heck of a bounce and a roll here through the fairway. This is going to leave us with a very short shot to pin to try to pick up this eagle. The only bad thing is this green is glitchy, as we all know. Here, what you want to do is you want to get a lot of backspin, and this green slopes from right to left, but then you encounter that ball guideline glitch right there. So I tried to add a little bit more backspin to it and just get the ball to sit right next to the cup like that. But again, it's hard to gauge. I adjusted 10% at mid. I even hit a perfect ball, and unfortunately, we go in the cup and then out. So, that one kind of stinks. That one's going to be a little bit fluky. I do think with that setup and a little bit more backspin, quite a few of you will drop it, but also quite a few of you are going to come up just short. So just keep that one in mind. And even you can even go back and look at the qualifying round video that I put up on that particular shot and see the offset that I used. And you can kind of see how that green rolls if you're not familiar with it. If you can just get it at the pin and hit perfect, it normally goes into the cup. But that one I just got that little green glitch right there. All right, hole number 5 here. I do think that they did make the wins quite a bit tougher in this round compared to the qualifying round. We're going to get hit with headwind here, so I could have used a berserker and gone right, but I'll save that for possibly a final round. As with this headwind here, I just want to show the shot that most people are going to have to play in rookie, which is just going to be this layup option here. Now, I want you to notice that when I pulled my rings, I pulled into that tree line. I didn't want to mess around with accidentally clipping a tree. I don't think that I would. So what I did here now is I'm just taking a set shot. You can see I'm moving my ball guide line until it's fully developed, but as close into where it breaks the tree line as possible. So if you don't want to pull your rings, this is the shot you can play. You can just do it like that, and then you'll also be totally good. Okay, so we land on the fairway. Leave this for shot number 2. Shot number 2, there is basically no elevation. There is no ring pull. It's being played at maximum distance of our sniper as it is. And we're getting direct headwind, so we don't have to make any wind adjustment here. All thing we know that we have to do is possibly use a little bit of overpower because we didn't pull our rings. So if we would have pulled, we would have gone into overpower. So that's how we know we have to use a little bit of OP here. We use our curl to the right. And of course, this thing finds the green, and it kind of has a nice little roll back towards the cup. Maybe a little too strong on the overpower here, but regardless, leaves us for a very easy putt for eagle. And that takes us on to hole number 6. Hole number 6, a par 3. I'm not a big fan of this one, but again, it is more headwind. Here I'm using a Quasar, not a ball I'm a fan of either. But I figured we were going to need more than one bar side spin, so a Marlin and a Navigator was out of the question. Here you see I'm trying to find this little sticky spot that a subscriber told me about, and I do find it. And I think it's a really good landing spot. But again, because of the headwind, we're pushing into a tree line. So, I don't want to mess around with that tree there at all. So now I go 3 back, about 1.5 right, and I find another really good landing spot. If you take a look at this right here, see how that ball guide line is pointing right at the pin? This time I'm able to push my rings, and I'm not even in the trees at all. Perfect ball. And you'll see here, this one comes super close. I mean, just a little bit less backspin. That ball could have come in a little bit faster and maybe gone into the cup. Who knows? But you'll be able to tweak that one right there. It gives you a really good, starting position, especially if you're willing to take a ball to practice. It's going to be a tough one to get, so I don't know if it's worth the practice shots, but pretty good reference point for everybody to take a look at there. Now we go to hole number 7. Hole number 7, I just cannot get this one in the hole, man. I went with a Quasar. because I have a replay of a tournament from back in the day to where with the Quasar, I was able to get like a really crazy ball guideline. And maybe you can do it with another ball. I don't know. It's just the ball that I had saved. But I'm trying to find it, and it's right there. So it's right there, and then I made it in the hole on the replay I was looking at. So I got really excited when I found this ball guideline again. Now the only thing that's different here is the wind angle. So I played at 20% here at mid, I believe. It's on the graphic. I hit a perfect ball, and then it came up really high up here, which is normally good. So we came really close to the rough. But normally when you come in high, you don't come in this low. So obviously the ball didn't go in the cup, but I found the ball guideline I was looking for. So at least I got excited about that. All right, hole number 8. Again, this one, you got to eagle in order to compete. Here, again, more headwind. So we are going to go with full top. I'm going to put a touch of right side spin on this ball. It's not a whole lot. Let's take a look at it here. Yeah. Full top, half right. Remember, bounce number 1 up there on that fairway, right there in that little curve part. And look how the last bounce is fully onto the top fairway, okay, pointing towards the green. That's what we need our ball guideline to look like. 10% elevation here. Notice I use just a touch of OP, not a lot, okay? Don't go crazy with the OP, but I did just use just a touch. Bounce 1, bounce 2, bounce 3. I mean, basically exactly where we were pointing. This is completely fine. Shot number 2 leaves us for another chip-in shot. I play at 20% at mid, but again, it's headwind. You could almost just go full top spin, point and shoot. But for me, accuracy, I just want to do the 20% to show everybody that's how it plays with the end-bringer here. And we're dead center for the eagle on hole number 8. This tops us out at hole number 9. Hey, please hit that thumbs up button before you leave the video. It would be greatly appreciated. Absolutely. And please subscribe if you're not one already. Here we go. Full top, full right. Okay. Yellow ring at the rough line here. 20% elevation at mid distance of our driver. Here we just make our adjustment. And then you see here we go with quite a bit of curl. Perfect ball. Drive is pretty easy. Shot number 2, again, remember, is played 10% at mid. This is 10% at mid. Here I'm going to be using, as you can see, 1 top, 1 right. I think I changed it though, so let's take a look at it. Yeah. 1 top, about 1.4 right. And the only thing I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to find the landing spot because remember, I just barely missed on my other account and I missed it to the right. So this is going to be a little bit harder of a green to read. But if we take a look at our first bounce there is on the fairway, okay? I guess our second bounce is playing right above that light green square. So, I don't know if you guys want to take a screenshot of this or what you want to do. And of course, it doesn't mean that if everybody lands this exact same way that you're going to make the shot. The game doesn't just play that way, but it does give you a really good starting point. 2.8 mile per hour wind here. This is 10% at mid, which is essentially 1-to-1 on the wind. So I did pull at 2.8 rings. And this thing does come in dead center. So ultimately a really nice shot. All right, that's it. I'm going to start playing the back 9. Let me know how you do in the comments. Thanks, everybody.